going on, everybody? So it's been a while since I've posted a video. I know, since like Christmas last year. Just took kind of a break, but I had a beer that had been on my to-do list for quite some time, for years, and it's the Dropkick Nate beer that Nate Pecok from, I'm hoping I'm saying his name right, Pecok or Pecok, either one of them, from Under the Table Brewing. He gave me his recipe a while back, and so here she is. Let's take a swirl of it. Well, first let's talk about the nose. Kind of sweet on the nose, kind of tropical, citrusy. A little grassy, but mostly like tropical, you know, overall. Give this a try, man. It's been sitting in a keg for a couple of months. I'm letting it clarify, but there it is. Looks pretty good, right? I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. You can see my face spirit through it pretty good, but I also have a floating dip tube in my keg, so the clearest pores only come up top. It's the pores at the end that are kind of cloudy. So cheers, and thanks for checking on me, watching this video. Yeah, real strong bitter bite on the front of it. A little bit grassy. It's grassier. We kind of thought it with like a back end citrus flavor to it. But anyways, I had fun making this beer. This one took a little longer than others because there's a whirlpool method in it, and it gave me a chance to kind of bust out Clawhammer Supply's new whirlpool arm and test that out on this brew. And I whirlpooled for half an hour, as I'll say in the video, of course. But let's go ahead and jump into this, and then we'll talk a little bit more, and then kind of close out. So cheers. All right, guys, I've been meaning to make this beer for quite some time, for like years, literally. I got the recipe from Nate from Under the Table Brewing a long time ago, and I just never got around to making it. But here we are now, mashing in a grain bill of 8 pounds 8 ounces of US 2-row pale and 2 pounds of Munich malt. He mentioned using Bonlander, but I couldn't find Bonlander, so I just went with my basic Munich malt, 9 SRM. Now just mashing away here, getting it all saturated real good. Gonna go ahead and put the top on, get this recirc going. Mash temp was 152 on this, and we ran this thing for about an hour and 15 minutes. But yeah, I've been meaning to brew this for a while, man. It's been one of the ones on my list, and so we let it mash out. Just now it's time to get this hose disconnected. Mash is done, took the lid off. I'm gonna hike the basket out, let it drain real good. And of course, you know, anytime I do this, I always like to rake the grains as well. So I do get in here and rake the mash out some and get all those extra yum-yums out of there. Can't leave any of those sugars behind, man. That's extra ABV and flavor. I don't care what anybody says. I've always done it and it works well. Now it's time to disconnect the hoses and collect whatever I can, you know, out of the hoses on the recirc portion here. And of course, yeah, I make a mess anyways. I haven't gotten this down to a science quite yet after all the brew sessions I've done in this kit. All right, look at that beautiful protein break starting up. Got a nice big head of protein going there. We had about a 1045 on the pre-boil. That's what I'm measuring right here with the refractometer. Now I did add some Eldorado hops 60-minute edition, and I didn't catch that, but I am putting the clarifying Irish moss right there, and then I do add in the Galaxy hops for the last 5 minutes here. Now what I'm doing is I'm recircling and cooling the wort down to about 180 degrees so that I can do the Whirlpool edition, and I get to bust out the nice new shiny Clawhammer Supply Whirlpool arm. And yeah, there it is in all its glory. And nothing fancy, nothing complicated. It's just a cool new addition to the brewery, and this is the first time I got to use it, so I put it in there and gave it a whirl, literally. And for the whirlpooling, we added an ounce of El Dorado and an ounce of Galaxy hops. And then let that whirlpool go for half an hour. It says at least half an hour, so I just did half an hour. And that whirlpool arm worked really well. It just circled and circled and circled like it was supposed to, and all those hops just kind of gathered in the middle of the kettle. And this is a few days later after primary fermentation is done. I'm doing a dry hop addition here with like another ounce of El Dorado and an ounce of Galaxy. And so I'm just sanitizing my little infuser here with some Star Sand before I add in the hop addition here to the fermenter. Yeah, just drop them right in there. I don't use this thing very often, man, but whenever I dry hop, it's very handy. And it's handy for other things, you know, adding vanilla or anything else to the beer during fermentation. So I just kind of screw that back on. Still using my SS brew buckets with the glycol chiller setup. And I'm just going to drop that bad boy right in there and let it sit for 2 weeks. Now people wonder what like the point of dry hopping is. It just adds all that extra flavor. And of course we got to bust out the bucket blaster to get my keg cleaned. Just going through the simple wash and sanitize process. Now here I'm just taking all the carbonation out of the sample so I can get a final gravity reading on the sample here. I love the Easy Dens, man. It has simplified my life. And you can see right here, it reads the temperature of the final sample and the gravity. And we ended up with a 5.2% ABV. I was actually right on the money as far as Nate's recipe goes on the gravity. It was like a 1050 starting gravity and then like a 1011 at the end. And we're just getting that thing kegged up all old school style, no pressure transfer, just straight into the fermenter. Okay, as you see, this video, I had to add hops in several stages. I added some bittering hops, I added a small bit of some flavor aroma hops at the end of the boil, and then I also did a whirlpool, and then I did a dry hop. So there was a lot of hops in this beer, a lot of post fermentation hop addition in there. That's pretty good. So anyways, yeah, I've had this recipe for quite a while from Nate, you know, and if you want, check out his channel, Under the Table Brewing. I know they haven't posted much in a while, but he does a lot of experimental beer, yeast experimental things, and but yeah, he is a brew. I would consider him like a brewmaster. Like, he's very experimental. I tend to just kind of stay within the safeguards most of the time, except for once in a while I'll do something stupid like the Blueberry Crunch beer that turned out kind of interesting and weird. But overall, I did like the Blueberry Crunch beer after it settled out. And this one right here, it's got a lot of bitter in it, a lot of grassiness. It's got citrus notes in it. It's sessionable too. I think I hit like 5.2% on the ABV. I don't remember, but I did record it with the Easy Dens, which is also my other favorite tool in my brewery. Is the Easy Dens. It takes the guesswork out of it altogether. It calculates the ABV, temperature, flocculation, all that good stuff. And this beer actually did go according to plan, and I actually did hit the high end of the gravity that Nate mentions on this beer in his recipe is that so I was very happy to get all the extraction I could out of that malt. So, but anyways, cheers. I'm gonna try to put some more videos out this year. This year's been kind of just like a year that I just kind of been doing other things. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get back around to posting videos, and for those of you who've been maybe waiting on me to do so. So cheers, and I'll see you this next round.